Duncan, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Good to talk to you, sir. I mean, how are they going to expand Luton Airport? Are they going to make it possible for bigger planes to fly in and out? Is it going to become a sort of international hub for long haul more than it is now?
I think it probably won't be a long-haul airport, but it will have greater capacity. And we need that because there's significant demand for growth in aviation in the UK.
Yeah, so all of this talk about, you know, Ed Miliband saying things like we shouldn't really be flying unless we absolutely have to, or unless you're going to a climate conference, because that's obviously fine. That's not really being picked up and run with by anybody sensible. People realise that you've got to use planes to get around.
There is continued demand for growth in aviation, but I think, and the aviation industry also broadly thinks, that we can grow the demand for and supply of aviation while still decarbonising.
Right.
So the industry has a clear plan to do that. And
is that all about the type of fuel? How does that work?
Yeah, so a big part of it is using sustainable aviation fuel, but also flying more efficient planes. Each plane is more fuel efficient and emits less carbon and is quieter than the one it replaces. Yeah. Modernising airspace, so flying more direct routes, and then also using a portion of carbon capture and storage.
And how far along is the development of this alternative fuel? Because I'm told it's quite expensive, isn't it?
Well, every plane that flies from the UK now uses a proportion of sustainable aviation fuel. That will go up over time.
Right.
10% in 2030 and more than 20% in 2040. But every plane leaving now uses a small proportion of sustainable aviation fuel. The real challenge is whether we import that or whether we produce it here.
Right.
And if we can get to the point where we produce a lot of it here, that's a great economic opportunity for the UK.
Well, certainly it was pointed out, I think, to Keir Starmer and to Rachel Reeves that you could produce it here. They could have produced it in Grangemouth, but they've shut Grangemouth down, haven't they?
I think there are ongoing conversations about Grangemouth. There are also plans to make sustainable aviation fuel in pretty advanced plans in 5 or 6 parts of the UK,
right.
East Side and Humberside, among others. The government is working quite hard to do this. There is a process going through Parliament at the moment for what's called a revenue certainty mechanism, which effectively takes some of the risk out of the producers of SAF plants. And that's important to get because these are relatively novel plants and we need to get them built at scale to provide the fuel for aviation.
Yeah, but is it more expensive, or will it be more expensive?
It's currently a bit more expensive. It's a relatively new fuel. The challenge with all of these things is to scale them up, and with scale we can reduce the cost.
Because I think, most passengers certainly listening to this show would want the prices to either go down or stay the same, not to go up to fly.
Yeah, I mean, the government has forecast the additional cost of producing sustainable aviation fuel or using sustainable aviation fuel as effectively within the normal bounds of the movement of aviation fuel. As I'm sure you know, aviation fuel prices go up and down as the oil price goes up and down. So the government's forecast is that it should be within that range.
Trouble is, the government forecasting's not been that great lately, has it? So we'll have to take your word for that. So how long do you think before all planes are flying with all of this sustainable fuel, like 100% of it?
Oh, I think that's quite a long way off.
Like decades or years or what?
Decades probably.
Really?
Until flying with 100% sustainable aviation fuel.
Right.
We're using increasing proportions of it in a mix with conventional jet fuel at the moment.
Okay, interesting. Duncan, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Duncan McCourt there, CEO of Sustainable Aviation. We're quite a long way off, as you heard there, from using all of this sustainable. I don't really mind sustainable fuel as long as it's cheaper, but if it's more expensive, I'm not absolutely sure I want it.